I didn't expect a flood of mundane recollections to drown my mind as soon as I started climbing the staircase. This place is such a hold over me. My past life, my life with Shizuko. It's so foggy but so familiar. I don't even feel like the same person I was back then. But of course I'm the same. I'm still me. And the stench ingrained in these walls.
Every time I come in here, it smells worse and worse. What is it?
Don't know.
Mold, mildew. I hate that smell. No, it's more sickening than that. It's something rotten.
Yuck. Anyway, her place is up just a few more levels.
I know.
Oh, you've been here before?
Mm.
Huh.
Tomoe abandons her thoughts in the air and continues to climb the stairs. When we reach the landing below Noriko's floor, a young girl's voice rings out.
Daddy?
It doesn't take long to identify the owner of the voice. A girl no older than 7 is knocking repeatedly on the door of an apartment. She notices our arrival.
Who are you?
Kojiro.
Hello there. My name is Tomoe. What's your name?
Momo.
Nice to meet you, Momo. Do you live
Oh
here?
no, is her dad dead?
Mm-hmm. The door's locked. I can't get inside.
I see.
Somehow the girl has locked herself outside her own
Is
apartment.
your mommy or daddy home?
I think Daddy is home, but he won't answer the door.
Let me try, okay?
The young girl hesitantly nods, nervousness evident on her features. Tomoe slams her fist against the apartment door, unafraid of holding back her strength.
Anyone home up in here? Hello? Anyone there?
After a good 30 seconds of pounding the door, Tomoe puts her hands on
Are
her
you
hips.
sure your dad is home right now?
I think so. He was here right before I went outside to play.
Tomoe grimaces and looks me
You
dead
don't
in the
think
eyes.
Something happened, do you?
Don't know.
I crouch down and rest my weight on one knee so that I can come face
What's
to
your
face with the
dad's
girl.
name?
It's Kenji.
Kenji, huh? And what was he doing before you went to play?
Momo twiddles her fingers uncomfortably. Her expression turns thoughtful as she tries to remember.
Watching TV.
I see. Thank you.
Hopefully he just fell asleep. I stand back up and turn to Tomoe. She raises an eyebrow as if in disbelief of the polite persona I adopt to
If
talk
he's
to the
got
girl.
the TV on, it might be too loud for him to hear us. Anyway, I'm sure he'll open the door soon. You should go up to Noriko's.
You're unbelievable. I ain't leaving this girl here. What if something bad happened to her dad?
Something happened to Dad?
No, honey. I didn't mean it like that. Kojiro, we need to get in there.
Tomoe's sentence is cut off as the apartment door suddenly opens. A formidable man, broad shoulders and with a smoldering expression, now inhibits the door. Oh, it's you.
Clear the doorway.
He takes one look at Momo and then turns his neck to bark at somebody behind
Daughter's
him.
right here. Bring her with us. Hurry it up.
Oh no, he's dead. The stern man pushes past me and I stumble as I try to get out of his way. I don't like being pushed around, but the sight of half a dozen uniformed police officers shuffling out of the apartment behind him encourages me not to retaliate.
Daddy?
Dragged along behind one of the officers is a handcuffed man in disheveled clothes.
Momo! Oh, thank God.
Oh good. He's not dead at least.
Sweetie, Daddy has to go to the police station for a little bit. I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm so sorry.
Oh, have you been killing people? Before he can squeeze out another word, the police officers yank him away from his daughter. He's accompanied downstairs and disappears from view within moments.
Come back! Daddy!
The final police officer to the exit the apartment bends down in front of Momo. He mumbles something to her, then grabs her shoulders in an attempt to steer her toward the staircase.
Let go of me! Daddy!
What the fuck is going on here?
Tomoe takes a step towards the officer, her fingers slowly curling into a fist. I clutch her fist in my own and force her to lower it.
Don't get involved. It's a police matter.
I think she understands my vague warning as she stops struggling against me. The young girl is escorted downstairs and Tomoe stands defeated
What the hell
next to me.
just happened?
I mean, it just would be her dad getting arrested, so... Tomoe is uncharacteristically quiet. She searches Noriko's apartment for clean clothing. Witnessing the man, Kenji, get arrested in front of his own daughter seems to have dampened Tomoe's spirits. Although he's a stranger, I can't help but feel bad for the guy. Don't know what he did wrong, but surely his daughter didn't need to see that going
You
down.
okay?
Tomoe ignores me as she rifles through Noriko's drawers. I decide to bite my tongue and simply take a seat on the edge of the bed. The first man to leave that apartment, the guy with the broad shoulders. He looked familiar. Very familiar. Seemed to be in charge of the officers. A detective? Yes, that's it. A police detective. I've seen him on TV a few times lately. He's the one heading up the investigations of the recent homicides. The one accusing Corpse Girl of being the culprit behind the Human Removal Service's string of murders. Interesting. Then, the man he apprehended, Kenji. Is he involved with the case? Is he a suspect? Is he the Herald? Neighbor of Noriko's, could it truly be? Could Kenji truly be the leader of the Human Removal Service? I tried to connect all the dots in my mind. He lives close to Noriko. He might even be on speaking terms with her. He might have access to Noriko's computer, her website. Well, she was using his internet. Could he have been the original hacker stealing Corpse Girl requests, the copycat? It all seems coincidental, but it almost makes sense. It's more likely than not that the copycat is someone who personally knows Noriko, someone who has inside view of her life. But what's his motive? Looked like a normal guy, just a father living with his daughter. What could have inspired him to embark on a killing spree? Actually, for that matter, what inspired Noriko to do the same in the first place? Never mind that, it's irrelevant right now. Kenji, are you the one we've been looking for? Are you allied with Junpei Matsumoto? Are you the prophet, the herald, the one capable of standing toe-to-toe with Corpse Girl?
I'm done.
I blink a few times and look at Tomoe. She's standing with a pile of clothes neatly
Can
nestled
we
in
get
her
going?
arms.
Yeah.
Leaving now is for the best. I want to get home, want to spend some time with my thoughts. There's a lot of new information to sort through. Da-da-da-da-da. An hour? Huh. Well, I got a new subscriber on YouTube an hour ago. Nice. My YouTube's been growing a little bit, which has been kind of nice. I'm at maybe 410 now. August 5th, Wednesday morning. Not a morning person, never have been. But running with Noriko has forced me to get up early more times than I can count. That doesn't mean I'm getting used to it, still can't prevent myself from yawning. Doesn't help that last night was a sleepless one. Couldn't convince my overactive mind to take a break. Even distractions didn't help. Couldn't concentrate on reading, couldn't focus on tidying the apartment. Nothing worked. The same questions kept bouncing around inside of my skull. When the sun came up, I decided to stop torturing myself and just confront Noriko. Perhaps she has some answers.
Wake up.
I lean over her near lifeless body and whisper sharply. Don't want to scare her awake, don't want her to ignore me either.
Noriko, wake up.
My whisper becomes more of a hiss and the girl before me begins to stir. She rubs her eyes, a familiar sight thanks to all the times I've woken her up lately.
Kojiro? What time is it?
Early. Listen, got some questions for you.
Give me a break.
She sighs, sits up, and reaches for her handbag lying next to her futon. After rummaging through its contents for a few seconds, she curses under her breath.
No coffee.
Here.
I toss her a silver can of coffee I picked up from a vending machine on my way over. I know the drill by now. Know Noriko well. The can slips through Noriko's slender fingers and comes to rest safely in her lap.
Oh, thanks.
She cracks open the tab and takes a long sip, effectively draining half the contents in one swig.
This is nice.
She thoughtfully examines the front of the can, running her fingers along the embossed
Glad you
logo.
like it. Now, questions.
Fine. Go.
You know a guy named Kenji? With a daughter, Momo?
Noriko cocks her head to the side as if this was the last question she expected to hear from me.
Yeah. I know them. They're my neighbors. Kind of. They live on the floor below me.
That's right. You on speaking terms?
More or less.
Her eyes dart away from mine as she takes a
Momo's
moment to
sweet.
think.
A nice girl. Kenji... We used to talk, but then... Well, I think he's lost respect for me. Let's leave it at that.
I see.
This is weird. How do you know those two?
Suppose it can't hurt to tell her. Tomoe probably will,
Went to your
if I
apartment
don't.
yesterday with Tomoe.
You did?
Had to collect clothes for you. Going upstairs, we saw Kenji get arrested by the police. Lots of cops. And the detective from TV.
Detective? Wait. Kenji got arrested? Why?
Don't know. They took him away in cuffs. Took Momo too.
No. The detective. You're not talking about the one heading up the murder investigations, are you?
It's him. Big guy.
Fujikawa.
Huh? Fujikawa?
Yeah.
Interesting. Didn't know his name before, Detective Fujikawa. Not exactly the type I want to cross. Noriko's shoulders slump.
Kenji. I wonder why he got arrested.
A flicker of realization flashes across her face. With a split second, Noriko's defeated expression gives way to a hideous, wicked smile. Her eyes narrow and a shrill laugh pierces my ears. Because you were using his internet.
Oh, that's fantastic!
Don't know if she lost the plot or if she figured something
All
out.
those precautions I took, all that preparation, it finally paid off!
Spill it. What are you talking about?
Okay. Right. Listen carefully. When this all started, when Corpse Girl first told me to start killing,
When Corpse Girl first told her. I thought she was Corpse Girl. That's why she's always referred to herself
I
as.
knew that running the website from my apartment was a risk. I knew accessing the database of the deceased could be tracked by anyone watching me. I took certain measures to protect myself. To protect Corpse Girl's work.
What did you do?
I pinned everything on Kenji Ogawa. I used his internet service, his Wi-Fi. I used his address for registering my website. I used his name for every service I signed up to. Everything I did created a trail of breadcrumbs that would point to Kenji in the event that the authorities ever came looking for Corpse Girl.
Devious. Cunning. Noriko planned everything from the start with a great amount of forethought. More concerning is the fact that she wasn't afraid to throw her neighbor to the wolves in order to save her own skin. Still, if I take Noriko at her word, this rules Kenji out as the mastermind behind the human removal service. He couldn't be the herald that Junpei Matsumoto spoke of. He was just a scapegoat. Wrong place, wrong time.
Clever. I'm impressed.
Thank you. It finally paid off. The police will either treat Kenji as the culprit, or release him once they figure out he's not who they're looking for. Either way, they'll be back to square one. And I'm off the hook.
Sure, if you say so.
Hmm?
That's all well and good, but you've been conducting a lot of work recently, since you stopped living in your apartment.
What's your point?
You've been logging into Corpse Girl's website from here, from the factory. You've been accessing that database of the deceased, too. Don't you think if the authorities trace that, they'll just come looking for you here?
I'm using my cell service to connect to the web. I'm not using a dedicated internet connection. And I'm running my connection through a proxy to mask my IP address. That can't be traced, right?
I shake my head. I'm pretty sure it can be tracked. Not my area of expertise, though.
But I'd be cautious if I were you. The cops will figure out Kenji's not guilty soon enough. Just you wait. Normal guy like that, he won't be able to give them any of the information they're looking for. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets released before the weekend.
So?
Hitting a dead end like that will only enrage the police, especially that detective, Fujikawa. Don't you think they'll redouble their efforts after that? They'll surely do whatever it takes to catch the true culprit.
Yeah, sure, I hear you, but Corpse Girl really isn't the one they're looking for. The human removal service is behind most of the recent deaths.
They don't know that. They only have eyes for Corpse Girl. You made her famous. Made her known in every household across Tokyo. She's as much at fault as the human removal service, and you know it. If they catch you, let's just say you won't be let off the hook so easily.
Noriko folds her arms across her chest angrily. Not my fault she doesn't want to hear the truth. This whole conversation has given me a headache. All my assumptions on the identity of the Herald led me to a brick wall. But I did glean one interesting piece of information from Noriko's words. A phrase that loops within my mind, verbatim. When Corpse Girl first told me to start killing. Again, I think she has schizophrenia. Rub my
Gotta
chin in
go.
thought.
You good here?
Noriko drains the rest of her coffee and tosses the can
I'm
aside.
fine.
Right. Later then.
Noriko doesn't speak another word. I leave in silence.